This is your reminder to integrate mindfulness into your life so that it's not like a separate practice time, but notice when you're getting up and down from the floor or while you're walking, like, how am I breathing? What's helpful? Am I inhaling or exhaling? And which one gives me more of a sense of power and centeredness and groundedness? Having that curiosity as you go through your daily activities will bring more mindfulness into your daily life. We're going to start a little breathing and some balls at the wall. Come on over to the wall. You'll take the balls, swing them over your shoulder, and let them hang. So I'm holding the string and I'm letting it hang down right in between my spine and my shoulder blade. And then leaning back. And once it's pinned there, I can let my arms go, and the balls are right in between my scapula and spine on one side. And then you can glide a little side to side. You can bend and straighten your knees, and you can let yourself lean back and be held by the wall and the floor. So your feet are comfortably grounded. Then notice how you're breathing. Notice the most intuitive way to breathe, which might be to your belly, but also see if you can send your breath towards the balls there. You're welcome to do this longer. I'm going to change sides just so we can keep this within a reasonable time frame. So I'm taking it over to the other side, pinning it there. Once it feels stable, I'm letting my arm go. So both my arms are relaxed and dangly. My head is back. If you want, you can lean your head right up against the wall, and then you can bend and straighten your legs. You can sway a little side to side, but just we're not crossing the spine. We're just getting into that spot between scapula and spine. Focus on your breathing. Notice what's a natural breath for you, an intuitive breath, and then more intentionally send the breath towards where the balls are. When you feel ready to come out, go ahead and come out. We'll take the balls to the floor. You can keep a hand on the wall and just roll along your feet. Again, you can spend more time on this if you have time, but I'd really like you to do this every day, ideally. And if it doesn't feel good to do it standing, you can do it seated. Once you're done with one foot, roll the other. We just want to stimulate the fascia. We're not trying to do anything super fancy here. If you have time, you can get fancy, but you don't have to. All right, and take your arms out and up, breathe in. And bring your hands together, breathe out, down through center. And take your feet a little wider. Bend your knees any amount. See if your knees and toes can be going the same direction. And you don't have to bend a lot. And then take your arms out to the sides. Knees are still bent if you can. Bend your elbows. Inhale here. And exhale, bend to one side. Take a breath into your top side ribs. Let it out. Inhale back up. And exhale, bend to the other side. Take a breath into the top side, the other side now. See if you can puff up those side ribs. Relax your breath. And then inhale back up. And we'll take our arms wide. Relax your arms. Roll your shoulders a little. And walk your feet even wider. So you'll turn your right toes out. Bend your right knee. Shoulders stay above your hips. Float your arms out, palms down. So right knee is bent, left foot adjust it so you feel steady and comfortable. And almost like you could lean back a little bit with your arms and with your feet. Then turn both palms up. We're going to inhale, straighten that front leg, reach up. If it feels comfortable, touch your fingertips. And then exhale, bend again, palms down. So you're flowing into and out of warrior two a few times. One more. Then relax your arms, straighten your leg, and turn your feet. So now it's going to be your left knee bending, your left toes out to the left, hips are still open to the side, and you can adjust your right foot. Bring your hands to your hips to lengthen your side waist and then float your arms out. You can turn and look towards that left hand. Turn both palms up. Inhale, straightening your left leg, reaching your arms up. And if it's available, touch your fingertips together. Exhale back to your warrior two. Two more. Feel like you can lean back a little bit here. And then please relax your arms. Just let them go, let them dangle. Straighten your front leg, heel toe your feet towards each other. You might want to shake out, feel into what your body wants. Then go and look out the window and find a tree. Gazing at that tree, think of your outer hip muscles hugging in towards each other and feel both your feet solidly grounded. Then start to turn your right knee out, right toes out, and bring your right heel into your left ankle. All right, so avoid sinking into that left hip. Hug your left hip towards your right hip. Both your hips are hugging towards each other. Right knee is turned out, but you have this solid base of support through both feet, the ball of your right foot and the whole left foot. And then your branches can come up. And maybe you want to mimic one of those trees outside or dance with it if there's a breeze. And breathe. So keep your gaze on the tree that you've chosen. Anytime you can relax your arms, you can bring your right knee forward and place your right foot down. Now on both feet, settle back. When you're ready, turn your left hip out, your knee out, and your toes out, taking your left heel into your right ankle. So you're up on the ball of your left foot. So once you've got that steady tripod of a foundation through your feet, focus on your hips and see if that right hip can come a little bit towards your left hip. So you're hugging your deep core muscles in towards each other, activating your butt muscles a little bit, and really feeling like you're steady towards the center as well as towards the ground. Then your branches could grow up. And whether it's the same tree or a different tree, you can let yourself be different on this side and be inspired by the variability of nature. It doesn't have to be a certain way to be beautiful. Relax your arms. Let your left knee come forward. Place your foot down and shake out. Bring your hands to the wall at hip height and step back until you're in that L shape, that's downward dog at the wall. If you feel upward, your whole hand is pressing into the wall, including your finger pads and your knuckles, and your inner thighs are drawing back, making a long line with your spine. It's fine to bend your knees. In fact, try bending one knee and then the other. And then walk towards the wall when you're done. Find our way to sitting. So when you're sitting, cross your legs, bring your shins a little in front of you, and then tilt forward just any amount. And if you want to use a block or a couple of blocks, I like to stack a few blocks on top of each other. You can do that, and you can rest forward. And it might be for you that your forehead comes down. So you could sway, you could take a side bend if you wanted to. Really make this your own. Feel free to pause and stay longer in the stretch if the stretch is what you need and want today. And you could massage your forehead. I'm going to change size, but like I said, you can pause me and stay longer. Make sure you cross the other leg in front, that you bring your shins a little bit forward, and then use whatever props you're using. This side might be different. You can take your time with it. If there's any acute pain or discomfort in your hip joint or in your knees, back off. Make some adjustments. You might even want to move your spine around a little bit or adjust where your legs are. And I'm bringing my knees a little closer together on this side. And that helps my hip feel better. Now, when you're in a forward fold like this, breathing into the back of your body, into your upper back, into your lower back, middle back, and your side body. Thinking of your ribs smiling outward, expanding outward. And then anytime, come on up, shake out. Come lying down on one side, and you can put something under your head for support. So your bottom arm is free, your shoulder is relaxed. Take your top arm, bring it parallel to the ground, inhale your arm up, and exhale it forward again. Do this 2 more times. Okay, now bring your arm up and start to turn your chest towards the ceiling. You can adjust where your block is so it stays under your head as you turn your head. You can keep your hand on your shoulder or you could reach way out. And you can take your top foot away from your top hand. So you're in this spinal twist. I actually like it without the block myself, but just want to make sure your head is supported. So you could use your hand to support your head or the floor or a block or a cushion. So you're breathing along this whole side of your body, reaching your hand and foot away from each other. And you might think of yawning here. Come back onto your side. And then from your side, roll onto your back. And then roll yourself over onto the other side. We're doing the same thing on this side. So, as much as possible, encourage you to use the voice cues and look away from the screen, especially as you get used to the sequence. Once we're lying on our side comfortably, knees are bent, take that top arm forward. And then as you inhale up, your arm comes up and you feel your shoulder blades slide down your back ribs. And then you can exhale forward nice and slowly. And last time. Then bring your arm up and you can start to turn your chest and your gaze towards the ceiling, letting that shoulder come back. And you can either put your hand on your shoulder or reach your arm out. Let's find what works for you. So once you get in the spinal twist, your top knee might start to come up just all on its own, and that's fine. Let that knee come up. Maybe you stretch your foot out and your hand and foot reach away from each other like you're yawning through that whole top side of your body. I encourage you to actually yawn or pretend to yawn. So this is different from a passive stretch, a different effect on your fascia, the connective tissue under your skin, and on your nervous system. All right, so when you feel done, come on out of the twist, come onto your side, and then roll yourself onto your back with bent knees. So we'll do a couple of bridges here. Feet are lined up with your hips and your knees and toes in front of you. Really feel that both feet are even and solid. Feel your heels, feel the ball under your big toe and the ball under your little toe, both feet. Put your hands on your lower ribs, relax your shoulder blades. Feel free to turn your head a little side to side so that you feel that your neck is relaxed and neutral. And then on your next exhale, press into your feet enough to just take your very lowest part of your spine off the ground. So your lower back is actually pressing into the ground as you do this. Inhale back to a neutral position of your spine. And exhale, lift your hips just the tiniest bit higher. So really trying to lead from the very base of your spine, from your tailbone. And you can activate your lower abdominals as you do this. Think of knitting your lower abdominals and your lower ribs towards each other. So maybe one more time, this bridge. And then you could stay up. And with your hips up a little bit, you can pull your heels towards your shoulders. And if you get cramping from this, that is not surprising at all. What we're doing is really activating the hamstring muscles which if they're weak or if they're dehydrated, they can cramp in this position. So then anytime, let your hips come down one leg at a time. A little stretch for the back of your leg. Feel free to circle your foot, play with your foot a little, and then cross that top thigh and knee on top of your bottom knee. So knee on knee, and then let them sway a little bit side to side. You can do this for longer if you want. And when you're done, uncross. Bring the other knee in, hold behind that thigh, and you'll feel the back of your leg stretching a little, and then cross thigh on top of thigh, knee on top of knee. And keep your bottom foot on the ground as you sway both knees any amount side to side. So you get a little massage for your lower back. Spend a little time relaxing. You can either keep your knees bent, walk your feet apart, and let your knees drop in towards each other, or you can straighten out your legs if you prefer. And your arms can be out to the sides, or you can keep your hands in on your lower ribs or your belly if you prefer. If you want to put something under your head, just have it be the thinnest that's comfortable. And if you want to put something under your knees, go for it. You could cover your eyes. If you want to cover your belly, do that. Once you're in your relaxed position and you feel like you've settled in, then start to notice your natural breath, almost like you're catching yourself breathing in the way that you would ordinarily breathe. And check in with the different qualities of your breath without judgment. Is my breath short or long, full, deep, or shallow? Is my belly just moving or my ribs just moving? Is it a combination? Is there any action of breath in the back of my body? Am I even connected to what's happening with my breath right now? And is it changing just by paying attention to it? If your mind wanders away and back, that's totally normal. That is what minds do. Notice if there's any place in you that is resisting away from the floor and away from gravity. And is there a way you could feel more connected to the ground? Find a little release and surrender. When you feel that you're ready to come out of the relaxation, you can wiggle your fingers, your toes, circle your wrists and ankles. And then you might go for a yawn, reaching your hands far away from your feet, yawning up one side of your body and then the other. You might want to hug your knees and rock a little side to side. You might want to end up on your side before coming up, or rock along your spine forward and back. And when you do come up, take a moment to pause, check in with your nervous system state right now. Check in with your hands, with your arms, your shoulders, your knees, ankles, feet, and then closer to your center, your spine, your hips, your breath, and the way you are oriented to the earth. Thank you.